Oh, salut, salut, salut. Us, the Paris people, the Paris Saint-Germain are very, very angry with FC Bayern München for taking our player. We are very upset that Bayern München have taken another French talent and they are making a baguette team. We love our baguette and there's no way. You know what? I am going to go to the Eiffel Tower and I will fall and I will jump and you cannot save me because I am very, very sad. Oh, Tanguy, come back to Paris. Paris, Paris. Oh, viva les Français. Viva le pays de Français. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. So, as we know, Bayern Munich, Tanguy Kausi is the new signing. Imagine this is the top European talent that Bayern's board were talking about signing this summer. But he is now a Bayern Munich player in a matter of a few weeks. Technically, his contract should end on June the 30th, which means he's then allowed to move to his new club after he signs and puts pen to paper with FC Bayern München. So, thinking about it, a lot of people want to know, what is this guy? First of all, he's a highly top-rated PSG talent that they wanted to keep. It's not like they were like, get out of my club, get out this club, get out. The Paris don't want you. PSG are a very prestigious club. We don't want you. No, this guy was actually breaking his way into the PSG first team. Rennes's president came out and said, we tried to offer him everything, but he refused. I said to him, Tanguy, take my wife. Take the doctor, take le garçon, take everything. Take my boy, garçon. Take it and go. Take le fier, mon fils, take it. But he didn't take everything. In fact, he decided, I want to go to Bayern. And look, he's not just going to walk in and go to our academy. That doesn't make any sense. Why would Bayern sign a top-rated PSG talent that PSG wanted to keep, that Rennes wanted, Dortmund wanted, Arsenal wanted, Chelsea wanted, probably every single team in Europe wanted, for free? He's free. Why would he choose Bayern out of all these clubs? First of all, the environment. There was sources coming out from Foot Mercado that he chose Bayern because of the environment, the FC Bayern environment, the way the club is ran. He probably called Benjamin Pavard. Salut. How is FC Bayern München? It would be a fantastic move for me. I want to move to my next club, my friend. They are very nice. Okay, Paul Pogba is Manchester United. Get out! I want to leave Manchester. I want to leave Manchester. And then he called Antoine Griezmann. How is FC Barcelona? I want to move to Barcelona. No. Tú es muy contento aquí. Tú no contento aquí en Barcelona. No, don't come here. Don't come here. He called everyone. Benzema, shut up! Zidane's gonna drop me. He's never gonna play you because he can't play youngsters. That's what he was saying. That's what was going on with in everything. That's the conversation. And he chose Bayern. Pavard was like, come to Bayern, we love you. Lucas was like, I get injured a lot and they keep care of me. They take care of me. Come to Bayern. They come to Munich. How did I go from French to Italian that quickly? But he chose Bayern, which tells me that there was a situation where he had to have considered his playtime. He had to have thought, where am I going to play and how does he want to further his career? And Bayern were his choice. And at the end of the day, there has to be something tangible there. There has to be a tangible reason as to why that works. Because here's the thing. He's a young player that PSG wanted to keep and all these other clubs wanted. And they were going to probably give him playtime. Do you think this guy doesn't probably walk into Borussia Dortmund's defense? He probably does. He's probably on that wavelength better than Emre Can at center back. He's better than Piszczek most likely. I think this guy walks into Dortmund's defense. And I'm sure Dortmund would have been like, hey, you'll start for us in our defense. And he was like, you know what? I want to go to a club that has a great environment and has a great club structure. And he's chosen Bayern. And clearly, there has to be a reason. First of all, center back. That is his best position and role that he will obviously fulfill at Bayern. This guy's a fantastic aerial player. His aerial duels, watching it, he's not like, one of those players like Lucas Hernandez where he needs to jump a billion yards or sometimes he has to dive. He's so composed. Imagine Virgil van Dijk. I'm 6 foot tall myself, closing in on 6'1", whatever. Not a big deal. I'm just taller than the average man on this planet, whatever. He has that height advantage, 6'2", right? But what I love about him is that he's composed. That's the most important thing. And he has the recovery pace. So he's going to add that to our game. And the composure is so important because that's something that Boateng had it. Remember when Boateng was one of the best center backs of all time? Nah, I'm playing. Oh, one of the best in the world, or the best in the world in 2013, 2014, and 2015. Then Messi did what he did to him. And ever since then, yeah, but I mean, Boateng still kept his form. But ever since then, he's been crap. People like to be sentimental about it. But he adds that certain level of composure that once was, gotten from Boateng. And you look at how he plays and interprets the game. Very composed player. He's fast, as should any French player at this point. I mean, especially if you're black. If you can't be fast, what are you? You can't be good. You surely can't be good if you're not fast. But he's fast. He has pace on him. And it looks like I'm playing him a left back. No, I just had to move the center back positions this way so I could fit the text. That's what happened. So he's a fantastic center back. He can play both left and right. He has the ability to pick out a pass from deep. And that's what I love about him. Remember the Boateng pass where I love this pass that Boateng used to do. He doesn't do it as much, but he did it a few games ago. Where he basically goes out to the right-hand channel as a center back. Sometimes just in that channel. Like what I mean by channel, I don't mean he's an attacking midfielder. No. I'm talking about the right-hand channel of the center back position. Because he plays right-sided center back. And he just whacks almost like a cross long ball. And he goes all the way to the back. I love that Boateng pass, man. He's gotten so many assists from doing that. And that's what this guy could add to our game. That cross-field pass that could just derail the opposition back line and kill their morale before they even think or fathom the thought of trying to play higher lines against us. That's what this guy can do. He can deliver a good ball, especially cross-field. Alaba is doing it. We're seeing it. Alaba can basically just come out and play a pass all the way. This guy can do the same. What I love about this guy too is the breaking line passes. That's what I like. I think Konate and Upamecano are superb at this. Not because they're just good at it, because Leipzig's system uses it so well. And Alaba's been doing it. But it's just the little passes that we're not seeing it on TV. You don't think it's possible. Busquets is literally the master of this. He would just bang, and it's there. You're like, how did Messi get? Huh? That's exactly the type of passes I'm talking about, and I think that's what I mean. The passes in between the lines, the composure this guy has to be playing those passes is amazing. I think in between the lines, Bayern, the way we set up under Hansi Flick, we need our center backs to be on their A game. We need their pace, the tempo of the passing to be there, and I think this guy has it in both the right center back position and the left center back position. But obviously he's not going to be our left center back. He's going to mostly be a right center back because he's right-footed. CDM, he can play CDM. Like I said, I think a few weeks ago, Bayern Munich were looking for a center back that could play CDM and be competent at both. This guy can do that. He isn't like a Kimmich CDM or Thiago CDM or even a Goretzka CDM or even that type of CDM that you're thinking about. This guy's a ball-winning CDM like he's a powerhouse. If you look at Casemiro at Real Madrid, all he does is sit in front of the back four. He doesn't even have to drop in between the center backs for build-up. No, he doesn't, because Real Madrid's fullbacks don't push high anyways. So all Casemiro does, and all this guy, Tanguy Kausi, would do for us is sit in front of our back line and relax, Netflix and chill until there's a defensive piece of action that needs to be done. His ability and energy to be all over the place and read the game very well makes him a superb CDM. Almost like a Javi Martinez, who is competent at center back, but also a very fantastic and effective CDM. This guy is not going to be a world-class CDM, by the way. Neither do I think Casemiro. Even though people are like, Casemiro's not the best CDM. Look, for me, a CDM has to have technical ability. I'm on that technical ability train. I'm a CDM myself, and I have a blessing of technical ability because I used to be a winger and I used to try to emulate my game around Ronaldinho. So you can imagine me doing flicks in the midfield and trying to be like Thiago, right? That's what I like in CDMs. I'm not that guy. I'm not a fan of Casemiro or Kante. Yeah, these guys break up play, but what I'm looking for is technical ability. This guy won't have that. He will just have simplicity, but also, most importantly, he's tall, physical, and he's going to get in the opposition faces. So we do have another solution to the CDM position if we ever need it. Imagine we're playing a big game, we're losing the midfield battle. We can bring him on to be in the midfield. He could definitely do that. And Kimmich and Thiago, or Kimmich and Goretzka, or Goretzka and Thiago can control the tempo of the game as advanced number 8. And Bayern Munich could have a different solution. That's what we never had. And Adrian Fein, I thought, would be that for us. But a lot of Hamburg fans are saying his physical side of game needs to be developed. And I think that's probably what's going to be happening. Not only can this guy do it, I love the CDMs like Casemiro's. Like I said, they're not my favorites, but I rate them highly for their ability to win headers. I think headers in football, modern, are so underrated. It's such an underrated trait because people think, oh, you should be smacking volleys in from outside the box and getting them top bins, upper 90 every single time. No, sometimes scoring a header is harder than hitting a volley from outside the box. Hitting a volley takes, you get less chances to, but hitting consistent headers is such a hard skill to have, which is why I'm so surprised Lewandowski can do it so consistently. But headers-wise, this guy is amazing at those. He wins the headers, like I said, from the center back position. He is physical. He looks small, but obviously he'll build into himself. He doesn't look small. I wouldn't say, physical muscle means you're strong. Look at Lucas Hernandez. He looks like an incredibly tough guy. He's not 6'10". Vidal was strong. He's not 6 foot at all. He's 5'10". So I think this guy has that. He has that strength, that natural strength and ability to push players all over the place. And covering the defense is something that Bayern, since Javi Martinez dropped off in his form and his ability, we didn't have. We don't have a player that sits in front of that back line and just covers the defense. If you look at Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester City, or even Fabinho at Liverpool, Casemiro at Real Madrid, Kante at Chelsea, all these players do. They sit in front of their back line and they just screen out things. They just, there's a pass that's almost, they intercept. There's a tackle, they make a tackle. I just love those types of players. I don't think they're world class because I just don't see why they have to be. I think you can rate players, but you don't have to think they're world class. For example, I love Leon Goretzka, but he's not world class yet. Not yet. He has to put in consistent performances like he's been doing for a whole season for me to consider him world class and not getting any injuries. World class, people love putting this word and just putting any player in that category. No, first of all, world class means that, like, everyone, you just give a certain level of performance on the pitch that top class players can't. Top class is still a very good class to be, but world class, Kimmich is world class in any position he plays. I don't think midfield is his best position. I think we get all his best traits at right back and we utilize his crossing and everything at right back, but I still think he's a world class CDM, and that's just testament to how good Kimmich is. I don't know why I'm talking about world class or whatever I'm talking about right now, but this guy can definitely be a fantastic, effective CDM for us. He's tall, he can do it, he has the energy, he has the pace, and looking at a lot of the clips, I don't know why that word's fun, clips. Looking at a lot of clips, looking at a lot of the clips that I've seen him play in, he's actually very composed, and I mean positionally. A lot of young players, young center backs, it's almost like they always give up a yard of space just so they can run back and show that they can recover. And that's cool, it's funny, right? Sometimes I look at a center back like Lucas Hernandez and I'm like, Lucas is giving him space so he can run and make a tackle because he finds it funny. I think a lot of center backs, look, I don't find tackling fun. I don't do it, so I just find a way to be smarter. Of course I'm fast. Duh. Look at me. I should be fast. But I prefer to be positionally sound than try to give space out and then run after the ball. I hate it so much. I hate running after the ball. I love running. I'm energetic. I like to be. But I have to run for a reason. And I think Tanguy Kausi is the same. Very different from a lot of these young center backs. You can see with, he's almost like a De Ligt. De Ligt isn't faster than him, but De Ligt has a little bit of recovery pace about him, but what I've watched and seen of De Ligt is that the guy's just like, you know what, I will just get the ball from you, nick it from you, make a simple tackle, clear it, then run after you for 50 miles just to keep up and tackle the ball when I should have just gotten it from you and you should have never been in the position you are now. I think Tanguy Kausi adds that. And a lot of young center backs should learn that. I just never know. Niklas Süle is the same way. Sometimes I'm like, Niklas purposely wanted to lose that race just so he could run back. I don't know if it's positionally, but sometimes I'm like, Niklas Süle definitely gave him a yard just so he could run back and show that he's fast. Because, I don't know, like, think about it. So many center backs do this. Boateng, maybe he didn't do this. Boateng was always positionally sound. So whenever he uses recovery pace, it was really when we needed it. I don't know. I think it's fantastic. Even Van Dijk. Look at Van Dijk. Do you see Van Dijk making 50 tackles? No. In fact, if you go on who scored, Van Dijk is a terrible tackler, but he makes the tackles. But it's just, he makes them in crucial moments, but what he does behind that is he nicks the ball. He puts out fires. He wins a header before it bounces. He clears the ball often. These are defensive things that you can do. There's different styles of defending. This guy, I would say, is passive-aggressive. He isn't like, let me rush in. He's always right there at the moment you need him to. That's what I mean by passive-aggressive. Hummels was passive-aggressive. Like, he's not going to just proactive. Davies is a proactive defender. I wouldn't say Davies is aggressive because he can be aggressive, but his style of aggressive is different from a Lucas Hernandez. Lucas would just rush in, tackle you, sometimes foul you, yellow card. He's on a yellow and he'll do this face. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, he'll do that face. A lot of players love doing that after they do something wrong that they know they did. But I think in terms of proactiveness, this guy's very laid back, composed. He brings the ball out composed. Van Dijk just passes composed. If there's an error, he doesn't freak out and run after the ball. A lot of center backs do that. Sometimes just relax, cover the space, and when the ball's, you know there's an option for a pass, you just get ready, position your body, clear the ball, and that's it. That's all you have to do. I just think that's what this guy's so good at, and people won't see it until he plays for us. But watching the highlights for PSG, he's an excellent player, and I hope he can do it here. He's obviously welcomed to be a world-class player in my books because, look, that's what Bayern are about. Signing a free player that everyone wants, and we win the race. And watch him be an Alphonso Davies type feeling. And also, he fits Hansi Flick's tactics. Look at the high line we play. Look, our players, let me draw something on here. A lot of you will be like, yeah, that's true. This is where our center backs are most of the times. Most of the games, that's where Alaba and all our center backs are. And then there's probably Pavard, Davies, and then there's our players right there. And then our, Müller, Lewandowski, all positioned, and our wingers coming inside. That's how we play. And a lot of people just need to understand that. So he'll fit us that way. But thank you everyone so much for watching. It's been a superb video. We have more plans. I do, like a freaking wedding. I have more plans of content, fan content. I want to make more fans part of this channel. So we'll have fan cams every single video. Alex has agreed. So Lerm, he'll be on every single, well, as many post-match interviews as he can. So it'll be short, concise, and it will add more content. I can't wait for that. And we also have a video coming out on Kai Havertz and also Lucas Hernandez coming out tomorrow. So look out for those videos. But thank you everyone so much for watching. It's been a superb day. I'm just happy today. But thank you everyone. Mia san mia, and peace.